Toonami is a late-night animated programming block on Adult Swim geared toward action-oriented programming, primarily consisting of American cartoons and Japanese anime. The name is a portmanteau of the words cartoon and tsunami, suggesting a tidal wave of animated shows. Toonami first aired on Cartoon Network from March 17, 1997, to September 20, 2008. On May 26, 2012, Adult Swim relaunched Toonami as an adult-oriented animated block, which continues as a Saturday night action block. During its original run, Toonami was famous for showcasing action anime that were popular with American audiences, such as Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, Rurouni Kenshin, Sailor Moon, Tenchi Muyo, One Piece, Outlaw Star, Yu Hakusho, Naruto, etc. History: Toonami was Cartoon Network's primary action animation block. The block premiered on March 17, 1997. It initially replaced Power Zone, Cartoon Network's most recent incarnation of the Super Adventures block, which had been a staple on the network since October 1, 1992. Toonami was originally a weekday afternoon cartoon and action block hosted by Space Ghost villain-turned-producer Malta at the Ghost Planet Industries building from 1997 to July 9, 1999. On Saturday, July 10, 1999, Cartoon Network relaunched Toonami with a new environment, the Ghost Planet spaceship Attribution, and a new host named TOM. Also introduced was the Toonami Midnight Run late-night block, which was originally a 5-hour Saturday night block at midnight EST until March 2000, when it moved to weeknights in an hour-long format until January 2003. On Saturday, April 17, 2004, Toonami was moved from weekday afternoons to a Saturday evening slot, where it aired regularly for 4 hours starting at 7 p.m. EST. Beginning October 27, 2007, it was cut back to 2 hours starting at 9 p.m. EST. On September 20, 2008, Toonami aired its final broadcast on Cartoon Network. However, on May 26, 2012, Toonami was brought back as a Saturday midnight action block on Adult Swim. Total Immersion events: starting in September 2000, Toonami presented special interactive events known as Total Immersion events. These TIEs took place both on air during Toonami and online at the official site, toonami.com, and always occurred the week that the block's most popular series, Dragon Ball Z, returned for a new season. The first TIE was The Intruder, which introduced TOM's companion, an AI matrix known as SARA. The Intruder was an 8-episode mini-series that aired during Toonami from September 18, 2000, until September 27, 2000. It resulted in the rebirth of TOM, upgraded from a short Bomberman-esque character to a taller, stronger, darker, deeper-voiced incarnation temporarily dubbed TOM 2.0, though it was the same TOM who still hosted the block. The TIE, Lockdown, aired between September 17 and 21, 2001, and included the introduction of CartoonNetwork.com's first MMORPG, as well as a record-breaking amount of page views and ratings for the network. In Lockdown, TOM fights to save the Absolution from an attack by a giant trash compactor. Trapped in Hyperspace, the next TIE, ran the week of September 16 to 20, 2002. The ship's computer, SARA, is infected by a computer virus, and TOM is trapped in hyperspace. His race eventually destroys the virus before the Absolution hits Earth. The Intruder and Lockdown aired in the UK, but did not achieve the same amount of success as their American airings. The TIE in September 2003 was a diversion from the TOM and SARA adventures and introduced a new, 2D universe. Immortal Grand Prix, created by Toonami producers Sean Akins and Jason DeMarco, and produced by Anime Studio Production IG, aired in 5 short installments, serving as a pilot for the second Toonami original series, which premiered in November 2005. Although Megas XLR was the first original American-made franchise to actually debut on the block, it was initially a Cartoon Network original that was planned to air on Friday nights. Other Cartoon Network action properties, namely Samurai Jack, Teen Titans, and Justice League, aired on Toonami, but were not exclusive to the block until their final seasons. Midnight Run. The Midnight Run was a Toonami block that ran from 1999 to 2003, broadcast from 12:00 a.m. EST to 5:00 a.m. from 1999 to 2000, when it was moved to the weekdays and ran from 12:00 a.m. to 1:00 a.m. until 2003. It consisted of anime such as Sailor Moon, Voltron, Robotech, Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, G Gundam, Gundam 8th Miss Team, and Outlaw Star. Midnight Run tended to have more blood and violence than its daytime counterpart, at one point even running an uncut version of Gundam Wing. One special edition that started on Friday, August 31, 2001, featured music videos from Gorillaz, including Clint Eastwood, Kenneth Hellbent, and from Daft Punk's Interstellar 5555. Another event was Dragon Ball Z taking over the Midnight Run for a week starting on March 26, 30, 2001. The Midnight Run returned by name to the Toonami block October 6, 2012, when two Western animated shows were added to the lineup, Thundercats and Symbionic Titan. Toonami Rising Sun, a Saturday morning incarnation, Toonami Rising Sun, ran from 9:00 a.m. to noon. It later ran from 10:00 a.m. to 1:00 p.m., then 11:00 a.m. to 1:00 p.m. This block was somewhat hampered to avoid competing with sister network Kids WB. Kids WB version, from July 30, 2001, until June 30, 2002, Kids WB aired a Toonami block that was, more or less, the Kids WB lineup with the Toonami name. It was critically panned by industry observers, who noticed the action branding of the block did not translate content-wise, which had added shows such as Generation O, Scooby-Doo, and The Nightmare Room, a live-action series created by Goosebumps author R.L. Stine. In spring 2002, Kids WB announced that they would drop the Toonami name from their weekday lineup, once again making the Toonami brand exclusive to Cartoon Network. Giant Robot Week. During the week of February 24–28, 2003, Cartoon Network aired on Toonami Giant Robot Week, a 5-day special based on mecha series, which were licensed by AD Vision. The series shown were Neon Genesis Evangelion, Gigantor, Robotech, Martian successor Nadesico, and iGuard. On the evening of the final day, the channel finished its salute to giant robots with the film The Iron Giant. Toonami rules Saturday nights. On April 17, 2004, Cartoon Network moved Toonami from weekday afternoons to Saturday evenings with a new demographic of preteen and teen audiences, while adding a new lighter-toned action franchise, Maguzi, to weekdays in its place. TOM was also given a new look for younger audiences. Toonami also replaced the block known as Saturday Video Entertainment System. One reason for the move from weekdays to Saturday nights was because some of the shows on the weekday lineup became too violent for a weekday broadcast on the network. The new Toonami lineup showcased anime such as Naruto, Brave Master, Duel Masters, Gundam Seed, One Piece, Bobo Bobo Bobo, Zatch Bell, and Poker Copyright Mon Chronicles, as well as premiered North American productions including Teen Titans, Megas XLR, Justice League Unlimited, and IGPX, Toonami's first and only original production co-produced by Production IG and Bandai Entertainment. A Month of Miyazaki, on Saturday, March 18, 2006, just past the block's 9th anniversary, Toonami began airing A Month of Miyazaki, a 4-week celebration of the works of acclaimed anime director Hayao Miyazaki. Like sibling station TCM's similar marathon in January 2006, Toonami aired a different movie every week between Toonami anniversaries. A films scheduled for A Month of Miyazaki all aired uncut and unedited, in accordance with Miyazaki's policy not to have his films altered. However, there were many complaints due to the large number of commercial interruptions during the films, with commercial breaks cutting in about every 20 minutes. The movies included Castle in the Sky, Norges Currency of the Valley of the Wind, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Toonami's 10th anniversary, On January 27, 2007, a teaser commercial aired during the Cancellation Showdown Marathon on Cartoon Network, featuring close-up shots of larger Clydes along with the date 307, and TOM's chest emblem glowing blue. On March 17, 2007, Toonami celebrated its 10th anniversary with a new packaging and numerous montages celebrating the block. TOM was revamped into a shorter robot, who was a commander of a jungle control room with a trio of new robots. The montages included a look at past hosts, former logos, and a decade's worth of clips and voiceovers from shows that aired on Toonami. There were a total of 4 montages, each with different clips, and 3 were 1 minute long. As part of the anniversary, Toonami planned another month of movies: March 3, The Invincible Iron Man, March 10, Mosaic, March 17, Hellboy, Blood and Iron, March 24, Stan Lee Presents, The Condor, March 31, Spirited Away and Teen Titans, Trouble in Tokyo, Cancellation. On Saturday, September 20, 2008, Cartoon Network ended Toonami. Employees who worked on the block moved to other parts of the channel. Toonami Jetstream remained with the Toonami name until January 30, 2009. At the end of Toonami's final airing, the host, TOM, ended the block with a brief, final monologue, backed by the song Cascade by Tycho, April Fool's Day 2012. On April 1, 2012, at midnight, just past Toonami's 15th anniversary, Adult Swim, which generally changes its programming for April Fool's Day, began to play The Room, as they had done the past several years. The scene then switched to TOM aboard the Absolution, greeting the viewers while commenting that it is April Fool's Day, before introducing that week's scheduled episode of Bleach. The Toonami-related programming and bumpers continued throughout the night, featuring Dragon Ball Z at number 191, Mobile Suit Gundam Wing at number 10, Tenchi Muyo, Ryuoki at number 19, Outlaw Star at number 25, The Big O at number 1, Yu Hakusho at number 110, Blue Submarine number 6 at number 1, Trigun at number 23, Astro Boy at number 1, and Gigantor at number 3. TOM also presented a review of Mass Effect 3 and promoted the recent DVD releases of the series featured. The following day, Adult Swim posted a message to their Twitter page, simply stating, "Want it back? Let us know. Bring back Toonami." On April 4, Adult Swim followed up this tweet with one stating, "Bring back Toonami, we've heard you. Thank you for your passion and interest, stay tuned." On April 8, Adult Swim aired 2 bumpers about the Toonami tweets and answered with, "We're listening," and, "We're looking into it." Adult Swim Revival. On May 16, 2012, Adult Swim posted a message on Facebook announcing that Toonami would return on May 26, with a similar message on Twitter, ending with "Toonami's back bitches." The network issued a press release later that day confirming the block's revival as a Saturday late-night anime block. Toonami made its return with all new bumpers, game reviews and an updated animation of TOM. This midnight time slot block featured more mature programming than any of its predecessors. The initial lineup continued some of the Adult Swim Saturday anime block programs and premiered 2 shows, Dead Man Wonderland and Cashin Sins. On August 18, the initial Toonami 2012 program lineup was changed, with Samurai 7 and Eureka 7 replacing Dead Man Wonderland and Cowboy Bebop. In addition, the program time slots within the block were rearranged. On September 26, it was reported that Symbionic Titan and Thundercats would join the block, taking the 2 AM/1 AC and 2:30 AM/1:30 AC time slots, respectively. It was also reported that the remaining 3 Euro 6 AM period formerly used to repeat the Toonami block would be replaced with 2 episodes each of Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood, and Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex. This new schedule began on October 6, 2012. On November 3, it was confirmed that Tenchi Muyo GXP would join the lineup, along with Inuyasha. On November 22, it was confirmed that Toonami would air uncut episodes of Naruto, and Fullmetal Alchemist: Brotherhood would start over from its first episode. Additionally, it was confirmed that Bleach would enter reruns for 8 weeks, beginning on December 1. On January 6, 2013, Toonami introduced a new blue color scheme after using a similar scheme to introduce Inuyasha on November 3 of the previous year, although a green scheme was used on March 17 to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. New episodes of Bleach began on January 26. On February 16, Soul Eater began airing on Toonami, replacing Samurai 7. During Momokan, new designs for both TOM and the Absolution were unveiled, along with the announcement that overall design of the block would be changed. It was also announced that Evangelion 1.11 alone would air on March 17, and that One Piece would be added to the lineup on May 18. On March 26, it was announced that the Toonami original series IGPX, Immortal Grand Prix would return to the block on April 27. On April 27, the relaunch came to fruition, featuring an all-new design, and supporting host SARA returning to the block after being removed in 2007. However, Sally Timms did not reprise her role for the character. Instead, SARA is voiced by Dana Swanson. On May 24, 2013, Aniplex of America revealed that Sword Art Online would air on Toonami in August. On June 26, it was revealed via Toonami's TUMBLR that Sword Art Online would now premiere on July 27. Additionally, it was announced that Thundercats, the rights of which had expired, would be replaced by the second season of The Big O on the same day. On June 30, it was revealed that FLCL will air in the future, with no confirmed date announced as of yet. On July 30, it was announced via the Toonami TUMBLR that Star Wars: The Clone Wars would replace Eureka 7 beginning August 17, and that will be airing on August 31. On August 31 the block had a surprise airing of Kick Heart After Evangelion 2.22 You Can Advance. It was announced on September 26 that both FLCL and Ghost in the Shell standalone complex would begin runs on the block on October 26, replacing The Big O and Cowboy Bebop, respectively. It was further announced on September 29 that the rights to Cowboy Bebop would expire following its current run. On October 25, it was announced via the Toonami TUMBLR that a 3-week series of movies would air during December in lieu of regular programming. Additionally, it was announced that the anime series Space Dandy would premiere on the block dubbed in early January, before the Japanese premiere of the show. It was also noted that Toonami will expand to the 11:30 p.m. hour in early January, with Space Dandy leading the block. On November 6, it was announced that Naruto would be leaving the block on November 30, with Naruto Shippuden coming to the block the night that Space Dandy premieres. Toonami announced on November 15 that the 3-week series of movies would be extended by 1 week, encompassing the entirety of December. Additionally, it was announced that the films Akira, Summer Wars, Fullmetal Alchemist the Movie, Conqueror of Shambhala, and Trigun, Badlands Rumble would air on December 7, 14, 21, and 28, respectively. On November 22, it was announced that Blue Exorcist will join Toonami on February 22, 2014. On November 23, Toonami was sponsored by Microsoft for a special XBOX1 event. On the same night, Toonami unveiled a new set of Clydes, the Clyde 55s, along with further animation for the Absolution. On December 9, during a Toonami Faithful podcast, Jason DeMarco revealed that Toonami had obtained the rights to Samurai Jack and will be airing it when FLCL ends, and also that Naruto would be moved to 3 a.m. and will restart at Episode 1 as part of the deal for acquiring Shippuden. On January 24, it was announced that Black Lagoon would be replacing Soul Eater following the end of its run on March 15. On February 25, it was announced that on March 8, they would be losing the rights to Inuyasha, which will be replaced with Symbionic Titan. Also, Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex and Fullmetal Alchemist: Brotherhood would not air that night, due to the loss of an hour. Following Adult Swim's rebrand on March 31, Toonami introduced a new look on April 6. This new look also featured the return of the Ninja Tune record label to Toonami, which was teased on their TUMBLR the day prior. It was announced on April 12 that Toonami had obtained the rights to air Attack on Titan, and that the series would begin airing on May 3 at 11:30 p.m. During their panel at Momocan 2014, it was announced that Dragon Ball Z Kai would premiere on Toonami in the fall, and that Cowboy Bebop would return later in the year. During Toonami on July 20, it was announced that Gurren Lagann will premiere on Toonami on August 16 at 2 a.m. and shortly after, announcing a mini-marathon of Attack on Titan episodes following the premiere of a new episode of Space Dandy for August 30. On August 23, Toonami announced through their TUMBLR page that they acquired the rights to Hellsing Ultimate and will debut on September 13, replacing Black Lagoon and Uncut Naruto for the entire 3 a.m. hour. On September 22, Toonami announced that Beware the Batman and Symbionic Titan will be written off financially and will premiere the remaining episodes of Beware the Batman September 27. On September 28, it announced that Dragon Ball Z Kai will be replacing Bleach on November 8 and Movie Month will return in December. International versions, Asia. On September 9, 2012, Turner Broadcasting System Asia Pacific announced that they will launch a 24-hour variation of the Toonami block, to be launched on December 1, 2012. Glenn Bartlett, who is in charge of Toonami Asia, has confirmed that their host, NAMI, lives within the same universe as TOM and SARA, and has expressed interest of their paths crossing one day. The channel launched on December 1, 2012, replacing Boomerang. Australia. Latin America. On December 2, 2002, Toonami premiered on Cartoon Network Latin America, replacing a similarly themed block, Talisman. Toonami aired shows that were already on the lineup such as Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, and Poker Copyright Mon, and served as the home of Inuyasha. Over the years, Toonami added shows such as Yu Hakusho and Saint Seiya, as well as the revamped versions of Cyborg 009 and Astro Boy. However, the block had to move to the late-night slots on CN Latin America, due to protests of violent scenes on the block. Mexico moved Toonami to midnight in October 2003, while the rest of Latin America moved the block in November 2004. In 2005, Toonami had short-lived weekend schedules, which were later replaced by the premiere of Adult Swim in Latin America. In March 2006, Toonami revamped their lineup to include more adult-oriented series, such as Love Hina, taking advantage of the schedule and the refusal of anime on Adult Swim, as well as to compete against the Anime Channel and IMAX for new anime series. In June 2006, Toonami premiered anime movies in two monthly variations, Dragon Ball Theatricals, and Toonami Movies. In 2007, Cartoon Network cut Toonami completely. The movies were no longer aired, except for those of Dragon Ball Z. After its cancellation in Latin America on March 26, 2007, the anime programming of the channel gradually vanished. Currently the only anime which air on CNLA are Digimon Fusion, Dragon Ball Z Kai and Poker Copyright Mon. In January 2010 the block Animaction was created, showing on Wednesday evenings. This block broadcast both action programming and anime programming, before it was removed in April 2011. UK and Ireland. Music. In its original run, Toonami proved a haven for dance electronica music throughout its history, using original compositions, first by skater artist Tommy Guerrero from 1997 to 1999, and then by Atlanta-based composer Joe Boyd Vigil from 1999 to 2002, many of which were compiled on the CD Toonami, Deep Space Bass in 2001. In 2003, DJ Klan overtook Toonami's beats and mixed them with sound bites from recent Toonami and Adult Swim shows, resulting in an hour-long compilation of Toonami remixes titled Toonami, Black Hole Mega Mics. For unknown reasons, the compilation was never published. However, the Mega Mics recently was hosted by Toonami Digital Arsenal, a popular unofficial Toonami multimedia site. DJ Clarnova would later release another Toonami album, entitled Toonami Supernova Megamix, on Christmas Eve 2012, and IGPX, the Icky Megamix, in December 2013 as a free download through the official Toonami TUMBLR webpage. From 2003 through 2008 and from 2012 to present, Toonami relies on original and library tracks from various artists from publisher Ninja Tune and others including Ben Benjamin, Boards of Canada, LP, Flying Lotus, Chris Devo, and Amon Tobin, among others. On rare occasions, videos from musicians such as Daft Punk, Linkin Park, Audrey Nevute, The White Stripes, Beck, and Gorillaz are aired. Games. Infrequently, Toonami has aired reviews of video games. These reviews, delivered by TOM and occasionally SARA, are relatively short and air during commercial breaks. The reviews score games on a 1 to 10 system, 10 signifying an excellent game, 1 signifying a very poor game. 2 games were given a question mark, Dropship, United Peace Force for PlayStation 2 because of many failed attempts to get past level 6, and Slender by Mark Paskadley of Pask Productions because of not finding all 8 pages in time, and the fright of looking at the Slender Man. TOM also made a cameo appearance in the Cartoon Network MMORPG Fusion Fall as an NPC. TOM also made another cameo as a special power in Sly Cooper 2 for the PS2. He was a special move Sly could do to distract enemies and acted just like the alarm clock power-up. Online video services. On March 26, 2001, Cartoon Network launched Toonami Reactor, their first online streaming video service. The 3-month service featured streaming episodes from Dragon Ball Z and Star Blazers, the latter of which was an online exclusive series. Editorial content was provided by the now-defunct An America magazine, published by Viz Media. After the 3-month trial run was over, Cartoon Network took it offline and completely revamped it. On November 14, 2001, Cartoon Network relaunched Toonami Reactor with all online exclusive programs such as Star Blazers, Patlabor, The Harlock Saga, and Record of Lados War, as well as videos from Daft Punk and Toonami-themed games. In the summer of 2002, Toonami Reactor was revamped again under the Adult Swim aegis and, in a joint venture with Viz's Weekly Shonen Jump, programmed it as Adult Swim Pipeline. It featured episodes and/or manga chapters from One Piece, Naruto, Shaman King, Yu Hakusho, and Sandland. On April 25, 2006, a little over 5 years since the launch of the now-defunct Toonami Reactor, Cartoon Network and Viz Media announced plans to launch Toonami Jetstream, a new ad-supported streaming video service featuring Toonami series like Naruto, Samurai Jack, Megas XLR, and IGPX, and the Internet Weekcast premieres of Hikaru no Go, Maa, Irashield 21, The Prince of Tennis, Mega Man Star Force, Cuba, Mega Man NT Warrior, and Zoids, Genesis, the latter 2 of which were never streamed. Toonami Jetstream launched on July 17, 2006, and offered episodes of Naruto, Hikaru no Go, Maa, Zatch Bell. Poker Copyright Mon, Blue Dragon, Samurai Jack, Cuba, Stormhawks and Transformers, Animated. On January 30, 2009, Toonami Jetstream ended its run. Since then, many of the shows aired until Cancellation aired on Cartoon Network Video on its main website. In 2012, Adult Swim rebranded their action videos section as Toonami Shows. It initially featured content from Durarara, which never aired on the block. Programs list. Cartoon Network / Kids WB, 1997. 1998. 1999. 2000. 2001. 2002. 2003. 2004. 2005. 2006. 2007. 2008. Adult Swim, 2012. 2013. 2014. Logos, references. External links. Official page, official TUMBLR.